What do the advanced numbers say about Dalvin Cook, free agent running back, who maybe is on the Jets by the time I upload this video? What skill set will he bring to this Jets running back room? How will he fit with the guys we have here? And toughest question, if we do bring in Dalvin Cook, who's the odd man out if we're not keeping five running backs? So let's take a peek. Let's go right to the numbers. Now, I'm going to compare Dalvin Cook's last season to Bam Knight's last season. And I did Michael Carter a solid. I combined his last 2 years since they were so polar. And Cook has been pretty consistent the last 2 years. And Bam Knight only has a 1 year sample size. So I thought that was fair, but that's just me. All right. So if we take a look right away, there's a big discrepancy between yards per carry and then yards per carry over expected, right? Dalvin Cook far and away ahead in yards per carry, but he's last, and he was actually last in the bottom 5 percentile in the entire NFL in yards per carry over expected, which essentially means that his offensive line was responsible for a lot of the yards that he gained, and he didn't really create a lot of yards on his own. Furthermore, that stat does heavily weight your ability to break tackles, which if we look at the next row down, Dalvin Cook breaking tackles at almost half the clip of Michael Carter and Bam Knight. Now, if we look at yards after contact, that's where Cook and Michael Carter are a little bit ahead of Bam Knight explosive runs. That is the how many runs you have over 10 yards per 100 carries. Cook by a significant margin ahead there. All the running backs right in the similar range, 6 to 8 drop percentage, a little bit higher than you'd like. Fumbling, Michael Carter and Dalvin Cook tick over 1% of their carries are fumbled. Bam Knight, tough with a small sample size, 2 fumbles and 85 carries. So I wouldn't say Bam Knight has a fumbling problem, but those are the numbers we have to work with. And this is probably one of the biggest discrepancies between the three running backs. Sacks allowed per 100 reps in pass pro. Dalvin Cook and Michael Carter are two of the worst pass protecting backs in the NFL. In fact, Michael Carter has allowed the most sacks per pass pro rep of any running back in the NFL since he's been drafted. So that's not good. I think that what you're seeing here is, yes, it is true. Dalvin Cook has significantly lost the ability to break tackles, the elusiveness, the trucking ability, right? But I think what's left out of that, and just giving all of the credit to his offensive line, is his vision and his speed. Because despite not breaking a lot of tackles, he is first in all of these backs in explosive runs and in yards after contact. Because once Dalvin Cook does brush off contact, he has a whole nother gear that Bam Knight and Michael Carter simply do not have. And on those outside zone runs, when you give a big alley to Bam Knight, Michael Carter, and Dalvin Cook, Cook is hitting it harder and he's going the distance. Right, a 20-yard, a nice run and out of bounds for Bam Knight and Michael Carter could be a 65-yard house call for Dalvin Cook. So, in summary, for me, Cook still has elite vision, acceleration, and long speed, but his inability to break tackles, along with subpar pass pro, hands, and ball security, are at times liabilities. Bottom line, although he does not possess the complete skill set to be a running back one in 2023, I believe, Cook is a home run hitter that can still be useful on a cheap contract as part of a running back rotation. Most I'd pay him is 1 year, $4 million. I truly believe if Izzy Abanikanda hits, he can do a lot of the same things that Dalvin Cook can with similar blocking, right? Izzy Abanikanda's game is vision and breakaway speed. And Izzy is rough around the edges in pass pro because he's a rookie. As a receiver, and just like Dalvin with the drops and fumbles are always a concern with a rookie. So I think Dalvin is really just a hedge against the development of Izzy Abanikanda. He's depth. He gives you some playmaking, but let's be clear. I saw on Good Morning Football, does Dalvin Cook change the landscape of the AFC? Will the Jets become the favorites over the Chiefs? He's just not that player, in my opinion, although I remain interested for the right price. Now, going back to comparing the three backs, who would be the odd man out if the Jets do bring in Dalvin Cook? Okay, you might say you could probably protect Bam Knight on the practice squad. More so, you're not even going to cut Izzy. He's a lock. Obviously, Brees is a lock. Michael Carter, I don't think you could protect in the practice squad just because of his fourth round draft pedigree and the fact that he has an entire rookie season of really excellent tape. But I don't want Bam on the practice squad because I'm looking here and the he's the best at breaking tackles. He's got the best hands for what we know. He's got the second most amount of explosive runs. And he's the only back on the roster besides Brees Hall, who we know is good in pass pro. And do you want Brees Hall week one just picking up Matt Milano? Is that how you want him to start his ACL recovery? I don't. You can't have a running back room where you don't have a guy who can block on the team. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying maybe Michael Carter is traded, which would bum me out. I like Michael Carter's personality, had a really good rookie year, but running back is a short term thing anyway. So he's got 2 years left on his contract. You rarely re-sign running backs anyway. So uh, that's probably where they would go if I had to guess right now. I think if Dalvin Cook is here, he makes you better and deeper, but at a very, very reasonable cost. And I think Bam's got to stay because he offers a skill set that none of the other guys do. Just my 2 cents, and we'll talk all soon.